Hello, welcome to VISHNU IAS. In this video, we will be dealing with the most important topics. One is how to deal for current affairs for our UPSC syllabus, and also the most important asked question, how to prepare for international relations. For a beginning, this has always been a question, how to tackle with international affairs. In this video, you will be getting your answers. This is Vishnu sir, Director of VISHNU IAS, and this is Santhosh sir, our faculty for international relations. We will be asking these two our questions. Hello sir.
Hello.
Sir, current affairs has always been a biggest question for all the aspirants. From where to study, how these topics will be linked to our prelims and mains. Please tell our audience how do we deal with it?
See, current affairs is something which is very important for civil services aspirants. It might be a state public service commission or union public service commission. There won't be any question paper without current affairs. The role of current affairs is immense. It might be polity, current affairs related polity, current affairs related geography, current affairs related economy. It is bombarded. These all subjects are bombarded with current affairs. So when we neglect this current affairs, we are neglecting civil services preparation itself. So civil services preparation can be called as synonymous with current affairs preparation also. Why? Because what is happening in the contemporary times, what is happening in the state, what are the state affairs, what are the government schemes which are coming up, what are the international affairs also comes under current affairs itself. So in this context, I will tell you, when we are doing polity, subject-wise, I will tell you. So what is anti-defection? Recently, which was been occurred in the news in Northeast India, Supreme Court judgments, N.V. Ramana, CJ of India, what are the reforms he recommended? So this all in polity, when we are doing with the polity only, we have to do parallelly current affairs. So in the class also, when I as a polity teacher, when I deliver the lecture, for every topic, I will add current affairs for it. For example, if I am talking about governor, what is the role of governor? Recent governor incidents. What are the recommendations of the various committees like Sarkaria commissions or Punch commission, which are contemporary related, current affairs related in that way. And coming to geography, Ukraine-Russia war is happening. So what is the map? What is happening with respect to that? So this is not only geographical point of view, what are the bordering countries of Russia, what are the bordering countries of Ukraine. In geopolitical way also, we have to look into this issue. And coming to economy, also inflation oriented. What is this inflation? What is monetary policy? What is this fiscal policy? How RBI is doing the steps for controlling the inflation. So every subject of civil services is linked with current affairs. Every subject. It might be internal security, disaster management, economy. Every subject is linked with it. So sir, as an expert in international relations also, sir, current affairs also equally linked with international relations. So in this context, I recommend a subject-wise current affairs you do to the aspirants, as well as if you do monthly wise by reading newspaper, you take some monthly magazines which are available in the market. In our website also monthly magazines are available. We are doing since last 2 years. So when you read monthly magazines and when you connect it with the subject, you will be getting a very good command over the current affairs. In this way, everyone should do current affairs.
Sir, while talking about current affairs, are these dynamics topics related to static or they're just dynamic in nature?
Coming to civil services examination, these are dynamic in nature. When you use the word called as static, it is called as factual. Like in geography, what is the bordering states, what is the bordering rivers, what is the bordering lake between the Russia and Ukraine. So static is important plus dynamic is important, but in civil services you have to focus more upon the dynamics.
Okay.
The dynamics part is very important. The changing factors are very important. So equally 30% preparation should be static and 70% should be dynamic, changing with respect to time.
Okay. So now that you have mentioned international relations, I personally have had an immense question as to how to start our preparation for international relations. Since our faculty is also here, let me ask him, sir, what is international relations and how do we start our preparation for our UPSC?
Generally for UPSC preparation, in international relations perspective, first the student has to look at the syllabus copy. What the syllabus copy is saying. So here we are using the word international relations. That means that there are two words, international and relations. That means the relationship of India with outside world and what are the interactions happening in the outside world and how it is impacting India. For example, India's interaction recently, India had 2+2 talks with America. Now our Honorable Prime Minister is going for the Quad meeting. And recently, India got support from France regarding the permanent membership in the UN Security Council. These are where India directly involved. That is the one aspect, how you look at the international relations. The other aspect is, even though India is not directly involved, the interaction between other countries will influence India. For example, I'll tell you the popular example is during the 1990s, the early 1990s, there was a Gulf War was going on between the Iraq and Kuwait. That war actually not directly involved in India, but the Indian diaspora, the Indian blue collar workers, okay, they are employing there, they are working there. Because of that, their jobs got affected. Because of their jobs got affected, our remittance to India got affected. This is how first we have to differentiate whether India directly involved in that particular issue or whether those issues are going to have a domino effect on India. If India directly involved, then we have to focus. So for your question, the crisp answer is, first student has to look at the syllabus copy. Second, the issue is whether directly related to India or indirectly related to India. If it is directly related to India, the student has to give much focus to that particular issue. That is the answer to your first question.
Sir, all of us think that international relationship is all about dynamic, what is happening, like you've mentioned the 2+2 talks. How do we relate it to our past? Because a country's history is all about what is happening. It plays a dominant role in what is happening today. How do we prepare for that? Let's just say India's independence is 1947. How do we prepare? Do we prepare since 1947 our relationship with other country, or should we only focus on what is happening today?
Actually, in our classroom, what we will provide you is, first we will provide you a bird's eye view to the students.
Okay.
For example, recently Sweden and Norway, they applied for NATO membership. If a fresher, when he look at the newspaper, generally he don't know what is the meaning of NATO.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
In our classroom at our VISHNU IS Academy, what we will do is, as a part of this Parivarthan program of prelims cum mains, what we will do, we will first explain what is NATO. If the student know what is the meaning of NATO, then he will understand why these countries are aiming to get the membership in NATO. Because in NATO there is one clause. That clause is saying that if one member country of NATO will be attacked, all the rest of the member countries will take that as attack on those countries and they will help to these countries. So we will explain NATO and important clauses of the NATO. Once that knowledge is, once that concepts are settled down, then whenever that concept will happen in the dynamic point, then he will have some basic knowledge on the static part and he will catch up. Because if you only say about dynamic part, dynamic will keep on changing. In our institute, the student will come to coaching. Next year, dynamics may change. If you don't have a solid foundation on the static knowledge, he couldn't understand. So first, we will give the static knowledge. The answer to your question, India got independence in 1947. How to approach? The approach is, first in our classroom we will explain how Indian foreign policy evolved for 1947 to 1991. For example, in 1947, we used to give the approach to the internationalism as well as non-alignment. Okay, these are the approaches we given. As the things are changing on, we given the non-alignment movements preference. Because of that, we couldn't upgrade our military. And suddenly China stabbed us in 1962. So we dropped the non-alignment. Then we used to give much preference to internationalism. That means the belief in the international organization. We believed that UNO will sort out the issue between the India and Pakistan. But UNO failed to sort out that issue. So we dropped the international principle as well. So in this way, slowly we evolved our Indian foreign policy by the time of 1991 because of the, as I mentioned earlier, Iraq-Kuwait war, one is the first one. Second one is the USSR disintegration, the same thing. And third one, unstable governments in India, VP Singh and Chandrasekhar. Because of all these three factors, India went into bankrupt. Our balance of payment crisis we faced. We went to the IMF. Now, at that time we took the debt from IMF. Now we are in a position to give debt to the other countries. We helped to Sri Lanka. So this is how our foreign policy evolved. Our foreign policy not evolved just because of India's interest changed. Even the global world also changed. At one point of time, power brokers are Russia and USA. Now Russia went into the backdrop. Now China became the power stage. So how our priority should be there? How with respect to USA, how we should act as a pivot in the Indian Ocean region. That is the reason we given importance to Quad.
Okay.
So the crisp answer for your question is yes, we will teach at our institute regarding the entire foreign policy dynamics. That static knowledge will be given. Upon that, the dynamic things will be taught in our institution.
Sir, the question for you, sir. Sir, Sir has explained as to in our institute we will be teaching both static and dynamic. But let's just say after a student leaves from the institution, how do they cope up with it? Because we won't be, I mean, we will always not be there to update their content because they will leave our institute. Let us help them as to how do they prepare from then.
Yes. So for this, the proper answer is we will not leave our students.
Okay.
Our general studies prelims come means we are giving 2 years validity.
Okay.
So what will happen when we compare with other institutions at other places, after completion of the syllabus they are been going out. But for our 2 years they can come anytime, they can sit in the classroom for 2 years, any batch they can attend.
Oh, okay.
Why? Because this is the institution which is built upon ethics and values. So it's not a 100% corporate institute. So after 2 years also we are creating one like alumni type of a group whereby everyday current affairs and monthly current affairs magazine we are providing, and they can approach our faculty as well as me also any point of time with respect to their doubts, with respect to writing tests, anytime we are available for them. This we proved also elsewhere. So we are not going to leave hands unless they leave us.
Okay.
And in this context, I want to proudly announce that Santhosh Rao sir is one of the renowned faculty. He is teaching international relations at our institute, and for that we are very happy, sir. Thank you very much. Yes.
So yeah, like my question, okay, even after 2 years, at any point of their time, if they want to update their international relations, how do they approach it?
Yes. There are some websites are there. Indian Defence Strategic Agency, IDSA websites are there. They have to go with the magazines. Every week we are going to release international relations YouTube videos also.
Okay.
If they watch that free YouTube videos also, they will be parallelly going with what is happening around the world.
Okay.
So that facility is there with us.
Okay. That's a wonderful initiative, sir. So, I think by this video, all of us have understood how to tackle with our current affairs and international relations. If you have any sort of questions, please ask your questions in the comment box, and we will come up with another video to clear all of your doubts. That is all. We will thank both our faculties, Vishnu sir and Santhosh sir, for giving us their time. Thank you.